What's up? BigH Trucking. It's been a minute since I've done a video. I've been busy, running hard. You know, those short runs that kind of knock you out by the day's end. That's the trips I've been going on. And I just had to reconfigure my spot. I was a little off to one side. Anyway, I am in Iowa. I'm taking my what seems to be annual trip out west. I'm going to the state of Washington. Delivers Wednesday, 5 o'clock. It's a great start to the pay period the following week. But this week coming up is a sacrifice because I only got 2 loads in. But that's okay at all. I don't look at it week to week, folks. I look at mine month to month, what I'm doing. Because if you do start looking at your trips and what you're making weekly, you may go a little bit insane because it's topsy-turvy. It's not consistent. You know, there's no guarantee that you're going to do $8,000 this week and then do $8,000 the next week. It's always going to be a great week, a mediocre week, and then a good week, and then a great week, and then a mediocre week. So it fumbles. So that's why I look at month to month, quarter to quarter, 6 months to 6 months. This way it makes all the sense in the world. The truck's been running great. I've got beautiful weather ahead of me. I'm playing beat the clock. I'm down to, I've only got 10 hours left on my 70 clock. I get nothing back tonight, but starting tomorrow night, I start getting really good time back, like in the 9s. Actually, tomorrow is 10 hours and 17 minutes, then 9s, then a couple 7s, then, you know, so I'm fine. I can make it out there, no problem. The following Wednesday, a week from this Wednesday, I'm going on home time. I've been out here for 2 months. And I don't know if you've been watching Lyle No Hippie Trucking and Transportation's video, but him and I are running neck to neck to see who can make the least. That's what it's been like for 2 months for me. It's just been one barrage after another barrage of just stuff, and that's trucking, right? That's the profession. You know, for a year and some change, I ran without any hiccups whatsoever, and I knew eventually at some point we'd deal with mechanical engines, that tide was going to turn and stuff was going to happen, and certainly it did. But I'm well protected. Got the great, as we always hear, the E-Fund with Prime. Even though I'm not putting money in the bank, I am also not taking money out of the bank. I'm using my E-Fund to support my lifestyle out here on the road and to pay the truck's fixed costs. So, but I'm happy with the way the truck's been performing. 2 new steer tires, alignment. I steam cleaned my 5th wheel. Still attaching to a trailer is a little bit problematic, meaning that if I don't hit it just right, the jaws don't clamp around the kingpin. It's not like most trucks where you can easily back in and it clicks. Mine, I got to use a little bit of fuel throttle, I should say, to get it to sync, which is kind of disturbing. But at least unlatching the jaws are so smooth right now. So I recommend, it cost me like $64. I recommend that at least once a year or after the winter time, you get your 5th wheel steam cleaned up there in Springfield. From what I understand, they're the only ones that offer it. I asked at Pittston, they said no. It's worth the money to get that thing clean and then put a new fresh coat of grease on there. I use Lucas Red tacky grease, and so again, all the issues with the truck are resolved. She's looking great. She's running great, and you know, I'm happy to be a trucker today, but I can't wait. You know, I can't wait to go home. I can't wait to go home. All my runs are going to be during the day, so this way I can see the beautiful scenery up in Montana and Idaho, and going through the pass in Washington State. I'm looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to the fuel prices, but I've got nearly $1,500 fuel surcharge on this trip. So I've only put 100 gallons of it, and I paid $4.25 yesterday in Ohio at a pilot, which was remarkable. Oh, I'm sorry, $4.35. So I packed the tanks yesterday, and I'm still working on it. I still got nearly 5/8 of a tank left, so I can get at least another. I can get a full day of running tomorrow out of this tank, and then probably, I haven't hit the mountains yet. I know there's mountains coming up. It's been nice and easy, no wind. I'm getting 8.5 miles to the gallon, so I'm not burning that much fuel. But I know eventually, like I said, once I get into Montana and start working my way into western Montana, start hitting some hills, that party's going to be over. So it's a beautiful day here. I'm in Iowa, just over I-80, exit 205, 202. I can't believe how quiet this truck stop is. It's small, but it's Saturday afternoon. It's about 3:30 here. She's quiet. Very surprising. But I got in here early this morning, actually. I got in here about 10 o'clock this morning because I left at 1 o'clock in the morning East Coast time. And I had no choice because the place I was staying at where I picked up, they were kind of like, you really can't stay here type talking, knocking on my door. Even though they said I could. There's another company in there. They're like, well, I have no time on my clock, sir. I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful in any way, shape, or form. I'll be out of your hair at 1 o'clock in the morning. And he was like, cool. All right. So it's the way you present your package sometimes that will allow them to, really be hard on you or go soft on you. So I told him, I said, I have no time, zero time. My time's expired. I'm like, I'll be out of here in less than 6 hours because this happened about 8 o'clock at night. And that's it. I left. Had no choice but to leave. I really didn't want to leave that early, but I'm glad I did because Ohio, that 74 coming through Cincinnati, all the way into Indianapolis is nothing but constructions and one lane, and it's just a mess. So in hindsight, I was able to get through that at nighttime unscathed. Nobody was on the road. So I can't imagine traveling that route during the day today. It must be, or morning. It must be just a real mess there. So now I'm in open territory. Now I can run the days because I'm not going to be hitting any traffic at all. I think now until the time I get to the receiver. Again, I don't have much experience going out west, to Washington especially. It's first time, actually second time in Washington State. All my other trips have been to California. I don't want to go to California. I was surprised to get this trip, but again, that's my once-a-year trip out west. And it was earlier than anticipated. Usually I don't get that trip until July, August, but hey, the money's okay. I'm not jumping up and down for joy. It's too many days for me. I don't like these long runs. First of all, it eats your clock to hell. And second of all, if you really think about it and start doing some math, which I do, I like the 500, 600, 800 mile runs because it's pick up, go get it done, and drop off, and you're on to the next one. And they're paying. It's a one day turnaround. So definitely make more money with short trips than you do long trips. But it is a nice break. Again, I'm all about the scenery, and out west is absolutely beautiful. It's magnificent. I'm looking forward to the snow-capped mountains and the scenery that the west is going to bring me. I look at the weather. It's snowing up in Montana and Washington passes in Idaho today, but by the time I get there, it'll all be gone. So I'm stoked to see fresh snow and beautiful mountaintops and valleys. So excited. Anyway, just wanted to touch base. BigH is going to sit down and finish off his tuna wrap from Subway. And I'm going to go hit the sack, and I can finally get some sleep. I really have not been sleeping. It's one thing I don't talk about a lot, is I do have difficulties with sleeping. You know, I average about 3.5 to 4 hours a day. And finally, like towards the end of the week, I'll finally just, my body will just shut down and I can get a good 7-8 hours of sleep in. But I'm not much of a sleeper when I come out on the road. It's just the way I'm built. You know, it doesn't make me any less tired. I'm energized because I love what I do. But it does suck when you're in a sleeper berth for 10 hours and you can't move your truck, even though you want to, but you can't. So what do? You toss and turn, or you get up and start watching YouTube. Anyway, that's it. Big H is out. Stay safe, make good decisions, and enjoy your weekend, because it's magnificent. And to all your mothers, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it is Mother's Day tomorrow. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, and enjoy yourselves. Take care. Oh, by the way, today's my birthday. Oh fuck, 57 today. Yay.